1, 2, 3, yeah! This is Amari Purple Talk. Yes. Welcome to episode 73 of Amari Purple Talk, a podcast where I share my thoughts on the Prince musical singularity. I'm Richard Cole, your imagination funk soloist. Thank you once again for tuning in. Please leave your comments in the comment section below, and please download on your favorite podcast platform. If you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And please continue to send your questions or topic suggestions for Amari Purple Talk. And how you can do that is by clicking the link in the show notes below, either the website link for Amari Communications, or by following me on Twitter at RichardCole_now, using the hashtag Amari Purple Talk, and your topic or question might just be read in a future episode. Before we start today's show, it's that time once again to remind everyone about part 2 of the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe Edition Twitter thread. That's hashtag Prince Twitter thread. The topics are still on the vault tracks, and check out the previous contributors as well as my own on the different versions of Strange Relationship. And this week it's about to get funky. With January 12th and Tanya Pendleton breaking down the track Soul Psychedelicide. And then January 14th, we've got Hank Liebeek at Hank_Liebeek. And hopefully I pronounced that correctly. So if I didn't, reach out to me with the correct pronunciation. But Hank will be breaking down the track The Ball. Both of these are like among my top favorites on this Super Deluxe edition. So looking forward to getting some knowledge and some information on both of these tracks. So again, the Prince Twitter thread, that's hashtag Prince Twitter thread. Definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. Again, big thanks to the moderators, DJ UMB and Edgar Cruz, for putting this together, and looking forward to many, many more of these. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start the show. And today's topic is a 1993 to 1995 era box set is what we really need. All right, and my inspiration for this topic, I discovered it quite by accident. There is a blog called A Pop Life. The author is Erwin Berendrecht. So again, if that is not the correct pronunciation, again, reach out to me with the correct one and definitely get it right from this point on. But this is a pretty good website, what I've been able to check out. And it started with my reading about the Gold Experience. And if you've been a long-time listener of Amari Purple Talk, you remember that some of the earliest episodes centered around the Gold Experience. About, will we ever see it in its original form reissued? Everything with the lawsuit with Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Will we get something different? We got a buffer release with the Versace Experience. To me, it's a buffer. It does not take the place of the Gold Experience. But man, reading this blog post, it's well researched. I mean, if there ever is a box set of this to be released, I know we've got, Dwayne Toothall in the mix with the historical reference, but, if there's room to squeeze this person in as well, hey, that might be cool too. So, in reading the blog for the Gold Experience, well, there were other articles too, because the initial inspiration was like, yeah, we need something for that era. And there was a lot of information that pretty much covered that 93 to 95 era. But this blog post also has an in-depth article on the Come album, the whole name change. And like I said, it's well researched, where with Dwayne Toothall, yeah, he's kind of like the Mark Lewisian for Prince. And Mark Lewisian is kind of that guy that's like the Beatles expert. And he's released a book documenting the Beatles recording sessions, just as Dwayne Toothall has done for Purple Rain, and the one I'm looking forward to as well, about Parade, Sign of the Times, in that era. That volume is coming out soon. But this website, I'm assuming this person is from the Netherlands. The website is en.apoplife.nl. And he's got a lot of articles basically centered around each album. But the two pertaining to this episode that you want to read, because otherwise, breaking down both of these articles, this would end up being a 4 to 8 hour show. And trust me, it will be a lot more fun to read these two articles. But the two articles on this website you want to check out. The title of one is Prince Releases the Fine Album Come and Nobody Seems to Care. The second article is At Long Last, Prince's The Gold Experience is Released. And I really wanted to cap it off at the year 1995. You could easily stretch it out to 1996 if you want to do a box set of this era. But I figured with 1996 kind of, that's the year for emancipation, and anything done kind of within that year was geared towards that album, then that should be like a separate box set or reissue with bonus tracks, if nothing else, just for that particular album. So for me, this is an idea. This is a wish list. This is a box set that Sony should really consider putting out at some point. It doesn't have to be the first thing they do. Like I said, I'm guessing a career-spanning box set would come first. But, few years down the line, this is one, like if there's a top 2 or 3 of box sets, this should definitely be in that top 3 of box sets to release. And you can really call it the Dawn. Because, yeah, there's been a lot of stop and start projects with Prince titled The Dawn. Even post-emancipation, there was still an idea of an album titled The Dawn. But I think given now, since unless there is in the vault an actual album that, you can compile in which the tracks were, for consideration for an album called The Dawn, you could do that. But I think that title would be better suited for this particular release because it marks the end of his association with Warner Brothers. It marks the beginning of his quest for independence. And the songs that were written and recorded during this period, this period was just as fertile as anything that was done during the classic 80s era. To me, this was like a rejuvenation. You had Diamonds and Pearls, which, divided the fan base, even though it was a major hit. It sold a lot of copies in the millions. It was very commercial of an album, but, it had its detractors. And then the same thing with the Symbol album, which I call the Three Chains of Gold album. Basically, again, that was a bit divisive. I kind of struggled with that one a little bit more than I did with Diamonds and Pearls. Although, listening to that recently, from an artistic standpoint, to me, I kind of now gravitate towards that more than Diamonds and Pearls. But like I said, those years are kind of, I don't know. I'll get into that maybe in a different episode at some point. But back to this one. This is when it was starting to get exciting again, from my viewpoint. Because when we didn't know what the name change was all about, and the whole thing with Warner Brothers, we were hearing these rumors of, song titles and things like that. And it just felt like, oh, okay, now we're kind of back into the whole mystique thing, the whole, what's this concept? Okay, well, we've had the commercial thing with Diamonds and Pearls. Okay, the whole Three Chains of Gold thing, depending on, it worked or it didn't work. It was a great tour that came out of it. But, now it's back to Prince. And he's gotten rid of the hip hop element. He's stripped the band down. Now it's about, the band, and, the songs sound like they're exciting. And just kind of as things started to unfold, there was a lot of great music to come out of this, both that we got to hear once it was released, the bootlegs that were sort of circulating around that time, a lot of the concerts that were circulating around that time, and, there's stuff in the vault still. Oh, let's just get to it. All right. So the CDs in this box set, that, again, this is a wish list. The CDs, I mean, you've got the tracks from the Come album, you've got the tracks from the Gold Experience album. So, I mean, you've got, not just the stuff that's been released. Let's take, the Come album. There's the sort of the alternate version of Come, which is a little bit more electronic. And really, now don't get me wrong, when I first got the Come album, it was hard to get to the rest of the album because that bass line on Come was so heavy. But, the alternate, kind of more electronic version of it, to me, that is quintessential Prince. It's definitely more solo Prince and more, I don't know, I can't say it was experimental, but to me, that was sort of a 90s return to form for Prince, like I said, versus the material on Diamonds and Pearls and the Three Chains of Gold thing. But you'll have both of those versions of Come on that album: Endorphin Machine, Space, Pheromone, Dolphin. There's stuff from even Exodus that you can include. There's stuff from the 1998 Crystal Ball compilation that you can include. You would have about maybe 2 discs of course, like I said, the Come album, Gold Experience. Then you'll have another maybe 3-4 discs of vault tracks. Again, tracks on other stuff. Like I said, the alternate version of Come, that would be on there. So there's 4 to 5 CDs right there. And amongst that, you can also, if they exist, an originals version of 1-800-NEW-FUNK. That can be included as part of the vault tracks. Now, this is going to get pretty expensive. This could be a very expensive thing if you include everything that I'm talking about on this. But like I said, that's 4 or 5 discs right there with the stuff that's been released plus all the vault tracks. Then let's get into the Act 1 and Act 2 tour CDs. So that's another possible 4 right there. So we're like 9 to 10 CDs in at this point. Now, I've seen things like, there's a complete Miles Davis box set of stuff that, it looks like there's a whole bunch of CDs in that collection. There's things like Bob Dylan's Rolling Thunder Tour. Let's see if I remember correctly. That's about 12 CDs of live material plus rehearsals. So here we are, like I said, up to about almost 10 with studio tracks, and then the Act 1 and Act 2 tour. Oh, also more vault tracks. So, we're about 10 now. Don't forget tracks from the I'll Do Anything soundtrack. Include that and get rid of the Vault album. I know there's some people that dig that. It's nice to listen to, but for me, because that was contract obligation, just go and get rid of it and throw it into this box set. Just do that. Eliminate that. Let's see. There's also the Glam Slam Ulysses tracks, Strays of the World, What's My Name. Of course, like I said, that can go on the vault stuff as well. There's the Beautiful Experience concert. So now, yeah, we're almost at 12 CDs at this point. So that can be added in. If you want to, take the Versace Experience out of print and include that in the box as well. There's so many interconnecting parts with this because it was such a huge fight to first, number one, where Prince wanted to release both Come and the Gold Experience simultaneously. But then when that didn't happen, then you had that year-long gap in between both releases. So in between that time, there's been so much that was done. There were concerts, two different. Of course, we had Act 1, Act 2. That was happening. You have the Ultimate Live Experience. That was going down in March of '95. You had in between that time also, Where the Most Beautiful Girl in the World was a hit. We'll get into that in just a second. But like I said, there was so much or so many moving parts that I don't know. If you can't compile it into one huge box set, do it as a Volume 1, Volume 2 box set. Where you do half of it the 1 year and then do the rest of it the following year. But it's so much amazing stuff on it. Like I said, all of these live concerts, each one different. There's no really no repetition because, yeah, the Act 1 and Act 2, yeah, that might have been geared towards the hits, but the Ultimate Live Experience, any other live tracks or concerts that were done, he was focusing on the newer stuff. And, the hits, maybe except for like 7, were dropped from the set list. Okay, so again, we've got studio tracks covered. We've got vault tracks covered. We've got the Act 1, Act 2 tour. We also have the Ultimate Live Experience for your CDs. And now we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, or I should say, the elephant in the park. And that is what to do with the most beautiful girl in the world. Because apparently that ridiculous, asinine lawsuit is still in play. And I don't know. I mean, with so much material to include in this box set, you can easily miss it, but there are a lot of fans of this song. So it would be a huge omission for them. But, I mean, there's two ways you can go with this, because basically, and we've covered this on Amari Purple Talk before, you can simply just replace the Gold Experience with a smaller compilation and say just yank that out, just drop in the studio version of Days of Wild and just keep it moving, because again, that was the original intent. It was Warner Brothers that kind of put the pressure on to include Most Beautiful Girl in the World on this album. So if Prince's original mindset or original intention was to not include that song in the first place, then just go ahead, re-release Gold Experience, and just, swap out the songs. That's one way to go. Another possible way is to settle, but then that would be kind of almost admitting defeat by settling. Now, you could settle and put a clause in that says, okay, well, we'll give you this lump sum of money, but you get no royalties and you get no credit. Just take this few million and go on about your day. So you can do that, or you could settle it and they get credit, they get whatever, but Most Beautiful Girl in the World goes into this box set. It's also on the Gold Experience, and but there we are. So, but the long and short of it is that while those are options, even if you omit it from any future releases of Gold Experience, or say this idea for a box set, then like I said, a lot of us probably won't miss it, but like I said, there's also a lot of fans that really love this song as well. And now let's move on to the DVD section of this box set. And my idea would be to include the Beautiful Experience movie, the Sacrifice of Victor DVD, and the Undertaker DVD. And with the Undertaker, you would have the option to include the CD version as well, or save it as a standalone release, but release it for free. And I mean, release it for free as maybe like an advance promo for the box set, or include it. Like I said, you would have that as an option, but definitely the DVD version, include that. So now you've got 10, 11 CDs worth of purple goodness, and then 1, 2, 3 DVDs of more purple goodness. And I mean, this is fantastic. I really want this box set. So I don't know if anybody from Sony or the Prince estate listens to an episode of Amari Purple Talk, but definitely, or if one of you out there has the ear of either one of those folks or Michael Howe, then by all means, put this bug in their ear. Hey, a box set of this era, doesn't matter how you guys would configure it, because I'm going to be there with my purple ducats anyway. But again, like I said, just hyped off of these two articles or these two blog posts, this is the box set I personally want to see sooner rather than later. I know it may not be the first thing that comes out, whether this year maybe not even next year, but definitely maybe 2023. Yeah, I want to really start looking for this if this hasn't dropped already in some way, shape, or form. And again, like I said, with all of the songs from this era, the concerts, this would be a very fun box set. Once you've exhausted yourself on all the classic 80s material and you just want to go in a different direction, for me, this is my second favorite era of Prince, is this 1993 to 95 to 96 era. And I would love to see, like I said, a very comprehensive set from this area compiled. Because, I mean, it's historically significant in his career because of just the record industry upheaval and just how that tension gave birth to so much beautiful material, or it motivated his live game to take that in another direction as well. And with that being said, because of the historical significance, the liner notes, this one, it to me, it can't be your cookie cutter liner notes. And that's no slight to anybody's box set that contains liner notes. Some are better than others. And with that being said, this is a chance to make this one a little bit more unique. I would say, as far as maybe a introductory essay, that's fine. Whoever you get to do that, whether it's Dwayne Tudhall or whether it's whoever you find to do that, that's cool. But with this one, I would say definitely just break it down as interviews. Maybe not necessarily a reflective essay of sorts, but straight up interviews documenting this period. Interview Mo Austin, because he was head of Warner Brothers at the time. Get Lenny Waronker again. Bring him into the fold, and interview him about that period, because I think he was still around as well. Interview the MPG, Michael Bland, Sonny T, Morris Hayes, Mate. Interview them. And get we won't ever get like a full picture, or we'll never know exactly what Prince was thinking, outside of what he was conveying in interviews during that time. And that's an idea too. The 1994 Vibe magazine interview, reprint that for the liner notes. That's one way you could go. And then as well, or you could do it almost in story form, the way they do those in their own words kind of things, where they tell a story with a quote from every single person involved. And you can have whatever interviews Prince was doing, you can have quotes. I think they do that now with the John Lennon stuff that has come out. The Imagine, the Ultimate box set of that, and then this latest one, the Give Me Some Truth, and then the book, Plastic Ono Band. That stuff where it's telling a story, it's telling a narrative. And the flow, like I said, you have a quote from this person here, then you have a quote from John. So you could do the same thing from Prince as well. And then, like I said, interview Mate, interview Morris Hayes, Michael Bland, Sonny T. And then you also have both sides. You have the Warner Brothers side, and then you have, Prince's interviews to tell the narrative, and then you have the rest of the MPG to kind of fill in the blanks as much as you can. That would just, again, like I said, it would set it apart from, like I said, your typical box set liner notes with that. Also include the Sacrifice of Victor photos from that book. Include those. The blog posts includes a lot of great photos. The writer put together for both of those. Um, you know, Similar pictures from that era, similar graphics from that era, include it all. Like I said, have this thing tell a story. And like I said, we'll enjoy it just for the music, for the videos, to relive that era. And, for me, I wasn't able to make it to the either Act 1 or Act 2 shows, or a lot of the other shows were going on over in Europe. So, of course, I never got to check those out. There's few things I have seen circulating, whether on YouTube or wherever. But to get that full experience for all of us in the Prince musical singularity, not only would that be a very heightened experience, but again, the context of what Prince was trying to accomplish by breaking the shackles of the music industry. A lot of things, or a lot of ideas that he had that have come to pass, whether he was the pioneer or whether these were things that he wanted to do that, say eventually came to light with a Napster or Apple Music or Spotify Tidal, whether it's streaming, the internet, building CD pricing into the ticket pricing, and everybody gets to go home with a brand new CD of brand new music, interactive, that's a prophetic track, because, the internet was in its infancy then. So, Aaron Barendrecht, you did your thing on these blog posts, and you inspired me to come up with a great topic for this show. And I even hyped myself because after talking about it, I really want this box set now. Man, like I said, if it's like that, yeah, I mean it's going to be just the CDs alone. So you're talking about like maybe a couple of hundred this time around. If that's the case, including all of that, 3 DVDs and 10 CDs, or like I said, break it. If it's that heavy, just break it down into Volume 1, Volume 2, and I'd be cool with that too. And plus, it makes it a little bit more cost effective for all of us, and just get it that way. But again, just having that era be represented not only in the musical context, but like I said, as a way to, convey Prince's worldview on freedom, ownership, and that music was definitely funky. So yeah, I'm definitely hyped. So again, Sony executives, Sony legacy executives, Prince estate, anybody with an earshot, find a way to make this happen, and happen soon. Like I said, I'm sure you guys got your plans laid out for at least this year and possibly the next year. And if this isn't included in one of those plans, definitely 2023, start getting this ball rolling. Somebody green light that project. Because, again, I'm hyped. I'm going to have my purple. In fact, I should start saving my purple ducats now, just in case. So, but what's most important is, what do you think? Is this one of your favorite eras? Would you like to see a box set? Would you, want to include all of everything that I've mentioned in this particular episode? Or what would your suggestions be? Or what tracks would you want to hear? Or what DVDs you would like to see included in this? So leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And before I end, I want to tease a project that's in the pre-production stage. Rain Baker, whom many of you may be familiar with via his Listen to Prince blogs, is creating an evolution of that format with a new website. And I've been asked to be a contributor. And I'm excited to participate, and thanks, Rain, for the invitation. Full details on the launch and title will be announced soon. And there are a couple of other invites that have come my way as well, and I will be reaching out to those individuals this week to confirm and finalize my calendar. I'm also stepping up my video game, so you may see some experiments pop up on social media as well as YouTube. But for the moment, those will probably, they won't be full episodes of Amari Purple Talk. Maybe just some quick commentary or reaction stuff, just to make sure everything's working. So be on the lookout for those probably in the next few weeks or so, and check those out. But come back here next Monday for the next episode of Amari Purple Talk. Again, another week. 2021, trying to hit harder than 2020, but let's all stay centered spiritually. Let's not give in to entropy, and just realize, we're still dealing with a pandemic, so everybody be safe, wear your mask, and take your vitamins and boost your immune system and take care of yourself. But also to remember there's another sick virus called racism that we need to find a cure for big time. So way to do that, let's hold on to ourselves spiritually, educate yourselves, don't blindly follow an ideology or one person. Remember, no one man will be ruler. Therefore, love must rule us all. And till next week, let's keep it purple and on the one.